The worst creature to run into during the Ice Age wasn't what you think. In the natural world, predators are rarely bigger than their prey. The reason is simple: herbivores get their energy directly from plants, while carnivores receive only about 10% of that energy through the animals they eat. This energy loss keeps most predators smaller than their targets. To compensate, evolution gave them weapons: razor claws, powerful bites, pack hunting. And it worked. Most predators can take down prey far larger than themselves. But occasionally, nature produces something extraordinary. A predator so completely built for giant prey that everything about its body, its teeth, its claws, its muscles, exists for one purpose alone: to kill the biggest animals on Earth. Only a few thousand years ago, one such creature walked this planet. This was the undisputed king of the Ice Age. This was the Smilodon. Discovery and misclassification. Thanks to its iconic appearance and enormous saber teeth, the Smilodon is one of those extinct animals nearly everyone recognizes. Movies like Ice Age made sure of that. Yet despite how famous it is today, when it was first discovered over 160 years ago in Brazil, scientists got it completely wrong. Based on isolated cheek teeth that closely resembled those of living hyenas, paleontologists initially classified it as a giant hyena, naming it Hyena neogyea. It was an understandable mistake, but a mistake nonetheless. Fortunately, more fossils quickly surfaced. Foot bones, skull fragments, and those unmistakable giant canines revealed the truth. This was no hyena. It was a completely distinct genus of giant felid, more robust and more powerful than any cat alive today. It was renamed Smilodon populator. Smilodon means knife tooth. Populator translates to the destroyer, or he who brings devastation. Few names in paleontology have ever been more appropriate. Classification and closest relatives. Further research placed Smilodon within the now extinct subfamily Mechaerodontinae, the group most people loosely call saber-toothed tigers. That nickname is misleading, however, because these animals were not closely related to tigers or any living cat species. A more accurate term is saber-toothed cats. Within this group, Smilodon belonged to a smaller category known as the dirk-toothed cats, a rare and exclusive club containing only 5 known genera. And within that group, Smilodon stood alone as the most extreme, the most powerful, and the most perfectly adapted giant killer. 3 species, 1 legacy. As more fossils were uncovered across North and South America, scientists identified not 1 but 3 distinct Smilodon species: Gracilis, Fatalis, and Populator. Each appeared at a different point in history, and each was larger than the last. Gracilis was the oldest, evolving in North America around 2.5 million years ago from an earlier cat called Meganterion. It was roughly the size of a modern jaguar. Fatalis followed about 1.5 million years ago, heavier and more muscular than a lion, weighing around 280 kilograms. Then came Populator, the largest of all 3, appearing roughly 600,000 years ago in South America. Populator was in a category of its own. The largest known specimens indicate a maximum body weight of around 470 kilograms, about the same as a medium-sized polar bear, Earth's largest living land carnivore today. And unlike many large animals, Smilodon showed very little size difference between males and females. That means there were a lot of massive individuals walking around. In every environment it inhabited, Smilodon was without question the apex predator. Built like a weapon. Smilodon wasn't just large, it was built differently from any cat before or since. Every part of its body was engineered for one task: bringing down enormous prey. Its bones were thick and dense, indicating a body packed with heavy muscle. Its heel bone was particularly robust and elongated, a strong sign that Smilodon was an exceptional leaper, likely capable of jumping even higher than the modern lion, which has been observed clearing heights of over 4.5 meters. Its forelimbs were approximately 20% thicker than expected for a cat of its size, more powerful even than those of the larger American lion. These arms could pin struggling megafauna to the ground with overwhelming force. And the claws attached to those arms were not ordinary cat claws. They were fully retractable, razor-sharp, deeply curved, and enormous. Reconstructions. show them to have been twice the size of a Siberian tiger's claws and longer than those of a Kodiak brown bear, an animal that can weigh twice as much as Smilodon itself. These claws weren't primarily for slashing, they were for holding, pinning a mammoth or giant bison in place while the real weapon was deployed. Swords for teeth. The real weapon, of course, was the teeth. Saber teeth have appeared in other animals throughout history, but no creature ever took them further than Smilodon. Its canines could reach 20 centimeters, 8 full inches, making them the longest saber teeth of any known felid. They protruded well below the jawline even when the mouth was closed, a feature almost unique to Smilodon among all saber-toothed cats. These teeth were not blunt battering tools. They were precision instruments, narrow, smooth-sided, and sharply pointed, designed to concentrate maximum force at the tip and drive deep into flesh with minimal resistance. A single thrust from these canines could create catastrophic puncture wounds in soft tissue. Interestingly, Smilodon's actual bite force was relatively weak, only around 1,000 newtons, roughly 4 times less powerful than a lion. The teeth didn't need brute force. They were built to pierce, not crush. Its jaw could open to an extraordinary 120 degrees, nearly double the human jaw, ensuring that no matter the size of its target's neck, Smilodon could reach it. The most widely accepted killing method involves Smilodon using its powerful forelimbs to wrestle prey to the ground before driving its saber teeth deep into the throat, causing catastrophic blood loss and suffocation simultaneously. Fast, precise, and absolutely lethal. Senses, speed, and intelligence. Smilodon wasn't just physically dominant. Brain cavity scans suggest it had exceptional coordination, sharp hearing, and outstanding vision. The shape of its eye sockets points to full binocular vision, the same depth perception used by modern hunters to judge distance accurately. A high percentage of Smilodon fossils also show trauma to the sternum, consistent with high-speed collisions during hunts. This animal was fast, calculated, and fully aware of its environment. Social life and prehistoric healthcare. One of the most fascinating debates surrounding Smilodon is whether it hunted alone or in groups. The La Brea tar pits in California have yielded over 160,000 Smilodon fossils, making it the second most common animal found there. The sheer volume suggests that Smilodon responded strongly to distress calls from trapped animals, much like modern social predators do. This points strongly toward group living. Even more remarkable is evidence of what some paleontologists call prehistoric healthcare. Several Smilodon individuals have been found with severe injuries or deformities, conditions that should have been fatal, yet clearly survived well into adulthood. One individual showed signs of severe hip dysplasia from a young age but lived long enough to fully grow. The only plausible explanation is that other members of its group fed and protected it. These weren't just hunters. They looked after each other. Rivals, competitors, and enemies. Smilodon shared its world with formidable competition. Isotopic analysis shows that American lions and dire wolves had the most similar diets, making them its primary rivals. Dire wolves had numbers. American lions had size. But Smilodon held its own, and evidence from La Brea suggests that dire wolves frequently yielded their own kills to approaching Smilodons without a fight. Short-faced bears also shared its range and were significantly heavier than even the largest Smilodon, some reaching sizes comparable to small dinosaurs. But their more omnivorous diet reduced direct competition, and their solitary nature meant that a group of Smilodons was rarely challenged by a lone bear. Humans and Smilodon. Humans encountered Smilodon. Evidence suggests this coexistence began around 25,000 years ago, and given overlapping diets, the relationship was almost certainly tense. A petroglyph discovered in 2021 appears to show a group of humans observing a Smilodon from a distance, direct visual evidence that these two species knew each other existed. It likely didn't end well for everyone involved. The ancestor of Smilodon, Megantereon, is known to have occasionally killed Homo erectus. It's entirely reasonable to assume Smilodon occasionally did the same. Extinction. Smilodon's reign ended around 10,000 years ago, though the exact cause is still debated. Some researchers point to human activity, including competition and habitat loss from intentional fires. Others link its extinction to the broader Quaternary megafauna collapse. As giant prey like mammoths and ground sloths disappeared, Smilodon lost the animals it was perfectly adapted to hunt. Unable to adapt or downsize, it vanished. With it ended the last saber-toothed cats, predators unmatched for over 20 million.